Okay, so for this session, we will do digitizing and creating new shape files, exporting files into KMZ format and viewing them on Google Earth. And then this part of working with raster data and compositing a map in ArcGIS requires some data that I will send later. So for now, we will cover those two parts. They are very basic. You have done them before, probably if you have done any map. These are very basic things. Perhaps these are the only steps that maybe you are familiar with. How you will familiarize yourself within ArcGIS throughout your GIS course. Okay, so to start us off, I will open my ArcMap right here. So I have my ArcMap open, and we will start by digitizing. So for me to be able to digitize anything in this working space, I will add a base map, and I will load an open street map. So let me load this open street map. It may take some time because this data is coming from the internet. So we will just be a little bit patient. You see, base map has added to my layers. So I will zoom into our country here. We'll zoom in all the way to, okay, so let us buy it time. It is taking time. Okay, depending on your internet speed, this one will be a little slower or a little faster. Okay, so if you realize yours is a bit slow, maybe because of your internet. Your internet may be a little bit slow. Okay, so I'm loading a city, and I want to digitize using this base map. So you realize that base map allows us to do some digitizing rather than using a map that has been scanned. Because for me to be able to digitize, I need to have some map that was scanned so that I can georeference it first. But using base map, I will skip that part of georeferencing, and I will just go straight to digitizing. So OpenStreetMap is taking its time to load. So let me continue zooming in. Okay, so I'm looking for CBD. CBD is right here. Okay, so this base map here, I will use it as my reference as I digitize my roads, as I digitize my polygons and also points. Okay, so the first thing I will start by doing, okay, so I will start by making this base map a little bit transparent by just going to the properties, and I will maybe make this transparency, okay, it is already 0, so that is good. I will keep it at 0 so that you can be able to see what I will be drawing over this map. If it is 100%, it may have so many things that you don't really know what they are, and they are obstructing you as you're drawing in this working space. So once I check the area that I want to digitize is already fitting in my in my layer well, the next thing I need to do is now to start making this digitizing, to start editing. So this layer is not editable right now. So for me to be able to edit in this layer, I will start by opening my catalog. And remember, we are also making shape files. So when I open my catalog, I will link my catalog to a folder that is on the desktop. So right there. So in this folder, I will create a new folder inside this folder here, and I will call it, I can give it any name. So I'll just create a new folder here. I can give it any name. I can call it ArcGIS part 4. This is part 4. So let me call it that. So inside this ArcGIS part 4, I will just right click and I select new here, and then I will add a new shape file. Okay, this shape file I want to digitize roads. So I will type the name is roads, and the feature type, this is a polyline. You can select a polygon, a multi-point, and a multi-patch, but I will go with polyline because roads are polylines. And then on the coordinate system, I will select the geographic coordinate system. I can pick the WGS 1984, the ones we normally use. I can also add projected coordinate system. I remember the last time we did reprojecting vector data, we converted our coordinate system from from geometric to projected so that we can be able to calculate area, perimeter, and such things. Okay, so for me to be able to calculate these areas, I have to convert from geographic to projected. But I can also add my projected coordinate system here. It will not do any harm to my data. So I can add, for example, the projected coordinate system for UTM, and this is WGS 1984. Our area is in the southern hemisphere. This is Nairobi. It is in the southern hemisphere, and it is 37. I will pick 37. Where is 37? 37 south there. And then I will click OK. So you can see now the coordinate system are 2 now. It will not do this data any harm. And then I can click on OK. Okay, so once that is done, I can now see that layer has been added in my layers panel. And if I open the attributes table, you realize that that attributes table is blank. It does not have anything. So I will start adding some items to this attributes table when I start now editing now. So when I start editing this layer, you realize this edit toolbox will appear. So let me give it time to load. Okay, so continue. Okay, so that editor appears. You can see it's right here. I can bring it in the screen so that you can see it. So, sorry. So this editor now will allow me to start editing the street map right here. So if I was to do, for example, Haile Selassie Avenue, when I start editing, I will just come here to the create feature panel. It will open this panel right here. I can select the layer that I want to create the feature. Okay, in this case it is road and it is a line. I can just pick a line here. And then from here, I can now start drawing my line along the Haile Selassie Avenue, courtesy of base map. So Haile Selassie Avenue extends all the way to that roundabout there. So once I'm done, I will just right click, and that will be added to the attributes table. So if I come to the attributes table, you can see we have a polyline there. So I can do another one. For example, I can do this river road. So let me do river road. So I will again start from here. So I will move on. I will move along river road, and then I will move, and river road comes all the way to this place is called where? Koja. So all the way to Moi Avenue here. Once I'm done, I right click. So I have added another item on my attributes table. You can see now they are two. So I will keep adding. I can add University Way. So I will just come here and click. This is University Way, and I will add up to there. So I will double click, and then I can also add Moi Avenue. So this is Moi Avenue from here. It links to River Road there. And then Moi Avenue goes that way, and then it meets Haile Selassie Avenue there. So I can double click now. I can also do Uhuru Highway. So let me do Uhuru Highway. So Uhuru Highway starts there. So what I'm doing right now is called digitizing. So I'm digitizing my lines. Okay. So that is Uhuru Highway. So what I can also do Kenyatta Avenue. I mean, why not? So let me do Kenyatta Avenue. So Kenyatta Avenue up to there. Okay. So I will also do building also, because I don't want to keep doing open. I mean, I don't want to keep doing polylines. So let me also try. Let me also try buildings, some polygon. Okay, so I will try a polygon. So in this case, I want a polygon. I want a polygon that is a building. So let me look for a building here. Well, I have a building here. So before I start doing my polygons for buildings, I will just come and add a layer for the buildings. So I'll go to my catalog, and then once my catalog opens, so let me uh, remove this from this point so that I can see well. So in this folder, I will just come and create a new shape file. And this one will be for buildings. So the feature type, this will be a polygon now, and then I can use the same coordinate system as the ones I used before. So in this case, we used WGS 1984 for the geographic, and for the projected coordinate system, we used the UTM WGS 1984 Southern Hemisphere, and we used 37 south. So where is 37 south? So it is there. So I will click OK. And then once my coordinate system appears here, and now I can click OK. You can see now that layer has been added here. So I'll just click on that layer, and I will edit feature, and then it cannot start editing because this layer is editing. So I will just come to the editor and stop editing this layer and save the changes, so that now I can jump to the layer of buildings, and I can now edit feature and now start editing that layer. So once I start editing, I will just come to the create feature panel. On buildings, sorry, I double clicked. On buildings, I'll just click it once. I will pick the polygon tool, and then I will start drawing the buildings. For example, this is City Hall, I can just draw it using these. Not the way it draws, it is different from the way a line was drawing. So I'm not very accurate, but I don't want to zoom because when I zoom, this map will take time to load. That is why I'm doing it from that far distance. So that is City Hall. I can also do another building. You can see something called uh, Kenyatta statue here. So let me do this one. I mean, why not? So I will do this one. Okay, so then from here, I can also do another building times tower. So I can see the parking is there. And then there, okay. So okay, so that is times tower. So let me also do central bank. Okay, so this central bank, I will do central bank right here. And then I have digitized that polygon. And you can see it is, these polygons are being filled with some solid color, depending on the color that you use to style here. If you want them to be hollow, you can do that by just clicking here and fill color. You can select none, or you just you can select no color, or you just make them hollow here. So for now, I just want to retain the color because I think it is visible. So I have digitized that part. So let me also digitize KICC. This one looks round. I zoomed, now my map has disappeared. So let me give it time to load. Okay. So from here, maybe I can add this wind. Maybe it is a little thin, so I can give it some wind of 2. Okay. So my base map is taking time to load, but I'll just give it time. Okay. So perhaps we may want to look at the data that we have been feeding in this attributes table. So if I look to the attributes table, I can see I have done uh, uh, 4 polygons already. Okay, so I can the more I keep adding, the more they keep piling up here. So I can give them properties from this panel by just coming here and adding a field. But you realize that add field is faint. This is because editor is on. So for me to be able to turn on that option, I have to stop editing first and then save my edits. So once I save my edits, now this panel will now be active. So I can turn it on and add a field. Maybe I want to add a field for the name. Okay, so this one will be a long integer and with some precision. Okay, this one will be a text, maybe length 50. That is okay. So now when I come here and I start, maybe I want to put the first polygon. Let me highlight that polygon. It is right here. This is City Hall. Maybe I want to give it maybe I want to give City Hall some name. Okay, so for me to be able to add that, I have to come back to this and now start editing them so that now they can be editable. Because if I click when it is not in edit mode, it will not be able to allow me to put that name. So it has now allowed me to put the name, so I'll just type it. I come to the second polygon right here. This polygon was where? This polygon was a statue somewhere in KICC. This was a statue, so let me just call it a statue. Okay, so and then that polygon is was this times tower? Let me see. Yeah, that polygon was times tower. So I can just come and give it a name, times tower. And then the fourth polygon right here is central bank. So now you guys can see how you can add data to your attributes table. Okay, so I have added that column and I have started editing my attributes table. So from here, let me also go back and view the attributes table for roads because I did roads also. I remember I did several roads. So the first road is here, polyline. So I can see the road is this one, Haile Selassie. So let me close the attributes table so that you can see these roads. Okay. So it is taking time to load. So let me be opening my attributes table meanwhile. So that road right here is the first one I drew here, which was Haile Selassie. So if I want to add a column for the name, I'll just come to this layer and ensure that that layer I can start editing it. But before I do that, I may want to stop editing this one. So I'll just come to edit features and then, okay, let me just use the editor and click let me drag it back to my screen so that you guys can see it well. So I was editing buildings, so I'll just click and save edits, and then I can stop editing so that it can allow me now to edit my attributes table. So I start editing my roads, and then right here I can just come and add a field. I can see that field yet cannot add. Let me see if I have started editing. Yes, I have started editing. So let me now open my attributes table and add that field. Again, it is still off for some reasons. Okay, so let us check out the reasons why it is off. So the buildings, sorry. The buildings, we have the buildings right here. So let me come to stop editing and then yeah, so roads, and then I can start editing, yes, and then continue. So back to my attributes table, we'll come here. Again, I cannot add a field yet. So my data type is a polyline. So so what I should actually do here is to stop editing rather than start editing. Sorry, I was a little bit confusing there. So when you want to add a field, we have to stop editing first. But when you want to edit that field, that is when you want to edit that column, that is now when you start editing. For example, in this case, for this column of name, which is a text type of length 50. So if I want to start to add a field, I can add a field when editing is off. But I cannot add this name for this first polyline here, which was a polyline, which was a Haile Selassie Avenue, the one that is highlighted now in blue. I cannot give it that name. If I try to click it, I cannot do that. So for me to be able to do that, I have to come to the editor now and start editing now that layer, so that now when I click, you can see now the cursor is blinking, and I can call this one Haile Selassie. Okay, so the next polyline was this one. So then I was also try and give it a name. So once I'm done, I can click on that. Let me highlight it so that I can be able to see it. Should be highlighted in some blue color. My base map is taking time to load. So let me save the edits, and then I can stop editing. Let me see which line this one is. Uh -huh. I told you guys the speed at which your base map is loading depends on your internet connection. So if your internet connection is not very strong, again, your speed of loading data may also be very slow. You can see mine is moving at a very slow rate. So I want to select, let me clear the selections. Let me select that again. I cannot trace this one. I don't remember even which one it was. It is not highlighting in a very good color. Let me check it here. I think it was too small, maybe. Okay, so let me try the other polyline. So let me come to my editor and start editing. Okay, so this second line right here is the one I want to see. It is right here. It is a very small line. And it was very far. I didn't even realize I came all the way here. So this line was supposed to be, okay, so it has loaded the whole line. This line was a river road. So once I'm editing now, I can give it the name river road. Okay. So now on the other side, I can select this one. Let me see which one it is. I have to zoom my base map out and it will disappear. Okay. So no problem, we will just be patient with it. So let me select this one. Let's see which one it is. And so I will be patient with my base map, taking time. I want to know which attribute this line is. So should be university, I guess. Yes, it is university. You can see it is highlighted in blue there. So university, this is university way. Okay, then from here I can now check which one. This one is now again Moi Avenue. Okay, so we call this Moi Avenue. Moi Avenue. And then this one is Uhuru Highway, so I call it Uhuru Highway. And then the last one right here is Kenyatta Avenue, so I'll just call this one Kenyatta Avenue. Okay, so I'm done now filling the properties for these layers. So what I will do now, I will just turn off the base map now so that we can view the data without that base map. So I'll just turn it off by just unchecking that. Okay, okay, let me just okay, so let me okay, it has turned off. So this is the data that we have been digitizing right here. We have drawn those roads, we have drawn these two buildings, and that is how they look. So for me to be able to visualize this data in Google Earth, because that is something also we are going to cover, I have to save this data and export it. So what I will do, I'll just come to the maybe the buildings, some of the roads, and then let me start with maybe roads, and then data, and then export data. So when I click on export data, it will allow me to export some this data to a certain output folder here. So this is the folder from where this data shall be saved. I can change this one to any folder that I want. So maybe I may want to change this folder to the same places we have been working on. Okay, so it's throwing an error here saying that error occurred trying to save the object named output to. So, okay, so let us try and do that again. So I will come, I will all features, I will select all features there. And you can see by default it is sticking to this folder. So because I can navigate to this folder, let me just keep in and say okay. And you can see it is saying, do you want to add the exported data to the map as a layer? I will just select yes. And you can see now the export has come and has been added as a layer. So this layer that I have exported right here, if I uncheck the roads and the buildings, you can see there's a layer that has been exported right here. So if I want to visualize this layer in Google Earth, how it appears in Google Earth, so I will use a tool called layer to KML. So I just type here layer in my search, KML, KML. Okay, so this is the tool that I want to use, layer to KML. So I just select that layer to KML. And then you can see we have this box here. So this will allow me to put the layer by just dragging and dropping it in the first option here. And then the next option is for the output file. So this one is loading. So let me give it time to load there. Okay, so again, it will save in this output file. Okay, so I can put an output scale, but this one is optional, but I will just leave it as that. Let me try changing this and see if it will work. Desktop. Where do I save this one? So let me just save it to desktop, and then I can give it some name like I can call it view me. Okay, so let me give you that name, that funny name. So and then I can say okay, and then you can see layer to KML has been completed. So what I will do now, I will come to my desktop. You can see view me right here, the folder we have just created. So if I open it, it will open in Google Earth. And then I will be able to see this layer in Google Earth. So let me just close this. And let me see if that layer was added correctly. So you can see it is zooming in Nairobi, and you can see now my roads are very visible right from this point. I can see Uhuru Highway here. I can see Haile Selassie. I can see Moi Avenue all the way to University Way. I can see Kenyatta Avenue there. I can see River Road there. So we have done justice as we were adding these layers. So that is what we were supposed to cover today. Adding layers, digitizing, creating new shape files. We have done that. And then anybody else has a question, I think I may want to